Okay, hello friends, good afternoon all of you, and let's begin for today's class. So in today's session, we will discuss the remaining part of that idioms and phrases. So yesterday there was the test, that midterm test. I hope that all you people may get out of marks because it was quite simple and normal test. So let's begin for next part of it. I will share screen immediately without wasting much of time, and we will just try to finish this part in today's session. So let's begin. Any questions, doubts about yesterday's test? Is it audible, visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let's begin there. So you're not asked to write PPTs in notebook, okay? You're supposed to write whatever we are discussing in the classroom. Okay. So whatever so far we have done, that much only. So let's begin for idioms and phrases. In yesterday's session, I have told you what does these idioms and phrases mean, and some of the examples also we people have discussed. Okay, so let's see some more idioms and phrases in today's session. So let me know if next slide is visible to you. Is it visible?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Then it may be visible now. And now let's start. So here you people will get list of these idioms and phrases. So first of all, you are able to see an axe to grind. Meaning is given, selfish motive. Also Marathi meaning is given on some of the slides. At the end, you will not find Marathi meanings. Okay. So suggestion will be that you try to use these idioms in your sentence. For example, if this an axe to grind, how to make a sentence of it? For example, he joined the group because he has an axe to grind. Okay. So likewise, you people can make examples for each of these idioms and phrases because I'll not spend much time. I just wanted to close it in today's session. Okay. Then let's go for second one, apple of discord. So don't go for any meaning. Let me know, have you done this or not? Yesterday, I think that we discussed it from PDF. Okay. So apple of discord, there is no any relevance of any apple or any fruit here, but meaning of it is cause of quarrel. Then above the salt, a person who is working in a position of honor or at higher place, higher rank. So that can be, we can consider here that above the salt, we can say that he's working above the salt. Then next one is all and sundry. So this means that everyone without exception. An afternoon farmer. So here it does not refer to only farmer. It refers to everyone who is lazy. Okay, a lazy fellow. If you know some of your friend who is not waking up at maybe early and he may be waking up late, in that case you can call him an afternoon farmer. Okay. Next is Achilles heels. So Achilles heels means weak point. So you can use in sentence, I know his Achilles heels. So when you say I know his Achilles heels, it means that I know his weak point. Okay, so should we go to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
So in a hurry way, maybe jumping and running, we are going to proceed. Okay, so if you are having difficulty to just get any of the phrase here, in that case, you just raise your hand or just try to bring it to my notice. We will discuss more. I will try to give one or another example for this. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, and here you people are able to see it says apple of one side. So when we say apple of one side, you'll come to know again it is referring to apple, but there isn't any apple. But it means someone who is very close, dear, near one. So that is apple of one side. You can say maybe you can refer children are apple of parents' eye. Okay, so like this. Then another idiom here, it is with again apple pie order, something which is extreme neatness. So if you visit to any room of your friend and if you find something is placed at exactly at that place only, everything is set properly. In that case, you can call my friend's room is an apple pie order. So when you say an apple pie order, mean that extreme neat, okay, as clear as crystal. Any difficulty, Lakshman Al-Shetty, roll number 10. So as clear as crystal, something that is very obvious, something very plain, clear. It does not require anything to support or explanation or something like this. In that case, you can call it as clear as crystal. So you can say something is obvious or something is as clear as crystal. For example, you want to understand English grammar or tenses. So when you say you study tenses for 1 hour and then it becomes as clear as crystal, something like this. Something that you understood, something that becomes plain, something that is clear, something that is not having any confusion, any ambiguity. In that case, you can call it that is as clear as crystal. Next is at a stretch. So stretch, if you find dictionary meaning of stretch will be different and meaning of at a stretch, it will be different. Its meaning is continuously. And you can use it in sentence. If you want to work hard, you have to work at a stretch. Okay, like this. If you want to get success, you have to work at a stretch like this. The next, at all events, it refers to under all circumstances. There are no any events that we are referring here, but we are referring here circumstances. He decided to win at all events. So he decided to win at all events under all circumstances. So circumstances can be good, can be favorable, can be maybe they are having some negative impacts also, but all under all circumstances, it refers to good situation as well as bad situation also. The next one is at arm's length. I mean that keeping someone or something at a distance. For example, if you have a friend, okay, and whenever you meet to your friend, he's always asking you money. So give me 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 500 rupees. And so you, whenever you meet, what you'll do, you try to keep your friend at arm's length. So keep at arm's length, it means you're trying to avoid. Okay. Then we'll go to the next slide. Next slide, you people have to add fuel to flames. So when we say to add fuel to flames, we have parallel Marathi idiom also for that, and you might have used it for a number of times. So to provide a fresh cause for anger. Okay, so that something already is in worst condition, and additionally someone or something that is making it again deteriorating the situation. In that case, you can call it to add fuel to the flames. Above all, that which is of highest importance. So you can say in student phase, study is above all. Okay, study is above all. That apart from that, any other activities, you have to give highest importance to study, like this. All the rage, you can say immensely popular or fashionable. For example, you can say the movie which is recently released, Pushpa, is at all the rage. It means that it is very popular. Everyone, they are just maybe talking about that movie and songs and story and all those things. To and fro, it means walking backwards and forwards. So what happens? Suppose that you are at one point. So from there, you're walking this distance, you're coming back, again you're walking, you're doing like this. That is called to walk uh, to and fro, okay, to and fro. That is referring to the walking. And usually, if you're waiting for someone, in that case, that person is not arriving on time, and you're restless. In such case, you walk to and fro. Next is bag and baggage. For bag and baggage, you did not get your English meaning, so it means that with all things. Okay. So suppose that you wanted to, let's take an example of now many students are moving towards the hostel. So when you want to go to hostel, you have to move with bag and baggage. So I mean that everything that requires for you to stay there. It can be clothes, it can be maybe toothbrush and paste and all those things. What you're required for that, you're carrying with you. So that is means bag and baggage. Maybe if you're going for any picnic or for tourism, okay. So when you want to go for picnic, you should go with bag and baggage. So with all things. So whatever required, so everything you're carrying with you, that can be bag and baggage. Then next one is below the salt. In the beginning, we people have studied above the salt. Now here it refers below the salt. It is exactly opposite of above the salt. So above the salt means working in at maybe superior position. Below the salt means in an inferior position. So we can take example. In spite of his high qualification, he is working below the salt. Next, beside the mark, not to the point. You can say his project was beside the mark, or his presentation was beside the mark. His speech was beside the mark. His talk was beside the mark. It means that not to the point. Between two fires. So when we say between two fires, again, I think that yesterday people studied one more phrase like this. It was between two poles. I think that between two I think that between two fires, stools, between two stools, it was like that. So similar to that, it is between two fires, and we people have studied it. I think that it is situation of India, that India is caught between two fires. India cannot, yes, like this, Akshata, that's right. So ikde aad tikde here, you can think of like this, okay? And similarly also, because I'm not spending more time here, but you try to make one sentence, at least one sentence you should be able to make from this phrase, then only. And if you're not able to make, in that case, you have to ask me. You can send me message in chat box, or you can just unmute and speak. I'll explain it. By and large, it means that on the whole. So example, you can say he decided to perform the project by and large, mean that on the whole, not into parts. Next, the beer, the air. So instead of the beer, it should be to beer, okay? Instead of the, it should be to. To bear the air, it means that useless efforts. So you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to do something, but your efforts are failure. In such case, you can say to bear the air. Bear the burnt. It means again to suffer. So common people has to bear the burnt in during the war. You can say relevant situations, current affairs, you can relate with these kind of things. So common people, when war is going on, who has to suffer? Common people has to suffer. So in that case, you can say when war is going on, common people has to bear the burnt. Bosom friend, it means that someone who is very close, very intimate friend, with whom we maybe talk every day, share our secrets and all those things. That friend you can call bosom friend. So accordingly, you can just relate or make one example so that you can use bosom friends. You can say maybe your friend, you people are studying together for 5 years, 6 years. Rakesh Atkale. Okay. And you can call him bosom friend. Okay. You can call him bosom friend depending upon your experience and your maybe sharing of thoughts and ideas and feelings. Then let's go to the next one. By a hair's breadth. I mean that something that you are skipping by a narrow margin. Thorkyat watching. Okay. So for that also, yesterday we people have one similar phrase. I don't remember right now what it was, but we studied it like this. You can refer it back. Example, you can make like this. He was saved by a hair's breadth. About to happen an accident. Okay. By hook or crook, this is also we did yesterday. By all means, fair or fall. By leaps and bounds, rapidly. Sentence you can make. He wanted to make progress by leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds, fast, rapidly, vegane. A bad egg, here egg refers to a person, the person who is not good, okay? Maybe someone who is having ill behavior, misbehavior, or his nature is not good, maybe abusing, in such case, not behaving rightly. For such people, you can call a bad egg. Baker's dozen means 13. It is referring to the number, 13 number. So we know in a dozen, it is usually how many? It is 12. Okay, but if it is a baker's dozen, it means that you are getting it 13. Sentence you can say, we got mangoes at a baker's dozen. So baker's dozen, instead of 12, you got it 13. Okay. A bed of roses and a bed of thorns. You just check the spelling. It is not okay. Okay. This is not correct spelling. You check it and correct it. So bed of roses, it means a state of luxury. Your life is full of, you know, enjoyment and lavishness, and maybe there is no any sorrow, suffering in your life. So that is a bed of roses. Everything you are enjoying, okay? And opposite to that is a bed of thorns. So when you say bed of thorns, in that case, your life is full of problems, sorrows and sufferings, one after another you are facing, and your life is full of misery. In that case, it will be called a bed of thorns. Okay, so accordingly people just make sentences. Any questions here so far? कळत नाही असं आहे का कोणाला काही? If no, then let's go to the next slide. To be a rolling stone. So rolling stone म्हणजे काय? गडगडत जाणारा दगड असा शब्दशः अर्थ घेतला तर तो असा येऊ शकतो. But we are not going for that meaning. To be always shifting, specifically in case of job. एखादी अशी व्यक्ती की जी सतत जॉब चेंज करत राहते. Joining one company, working there for 6 months, leaving that company, then joining another company, working there for 1 year, again for another company 2 years, like this. If a person is always or frequently changing his job, we call he's a rolling stone. Okay. To be at daggers drawn with, एखाद्याशी उघड शत्रुत्व स्वीकारणे. So that is called to be daggers drawn with. Okay, so you can say the example of Russia and Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine are at daggers drawn with each other. So you can say like this. I mean that they are having open enmity with each other. They are rivals. They are waging war against each other. So therefore, they are daggers drawn with. To born with a silver spoon in one's mouth. What will the Marathi phrase for this? कोण सांगेल? चांदीचा चमचा तोंडात घेऊन जन्माला येणे. So you can just think. When do we apply this phrase? When we see a person who is very rich, wealthy, for such person already, okay, his parents or foreparents, they have already earned or they have just lots of money, jewelry and property. In such case, you can call that person is born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Okay, meaning that he need not to worry about his financial problems. Next is to be in hot water, to be in trouble. You can call these days Ukraine is in hot water. So Ukraine is in hot water, Ukraine is in trouble. To be in doldrums, to be depressed. So you can say, make example, nirasha in depressed means, okay. Example, we can say when Mr. Sharma started new business, but he got a huge loss in business and he is in doldrums. So he is in doldrums, he is depressed, okay. To be in the seventh heaven. So what is the meaning of seventh heaven? सातवें आसमान पे होना. To be in a state of intense delight, happiness, joy. Okay? खूप अत्यानंद होणे. That can be the meaning. So when I got my first job in renowned company, I was in the seventh heaven. Example you can make like this. Next is a bird of passage, a migratory bird. So what do you mean by migratory bird? Migration. What is migration? अर्थ माहिती तुम्हाला migration चा?
Headache.
So when you just change your place from one place to another place, not place, in fact, it is from one country to another country, that is called migration. Okay. So a person who is migrating from one place to another place, that can be called a bird of passage. It can refer to birds also, but more than birds, it can refer to people also. And which people? People who are changing country from one country to another country. The next is a bolt from the blue. It means that unexpected disaster, unapekshit घडलेली दुर्घटना. Durghatna in the sense something mishap. Okay. So example we can take like this. When I went to beach, suddenly thief stole my pocket. Okay. So that was a bolt from the blue. So bolt from the blue, that was unexpected happened. A bone of contention, cause of quarrel. Again, you refer to Russia-Ukraine situation. NATO nations need to find a bone of contention between Ukraine and Russia. Okay. Next, a burning question, a issue. It shouldn't be a issue. It should be an issue. Okay. Correct it. It should be an issue. An issue that is keenly discussed, very much discussed. Maybe, you know, you can take example of global warming. You can say like this. Global warming is a burning question. These days. So this way, the people can start making sentences. Next one is break into. Break into म्हणजे एखाद्या घरामध्ये तो बँकेमध्ये दरोडा टाकण्यासाठी ज्या पद्धतीने दरोडेखोर घुसतात, that is called break into. To enter forcibly and abruptly. For example, you can say the robbers broke into the bank and looted the money. Break off, to end, to discontinue. Bring about, to cause to happen. Okay, so bring about, you can say COVID-19 helped to bring about the changes in the natural environment. Okay, so bring about, so something is responsible. So because of something happened. So that is bring about. Next one is to be a short-tempered. Short-tempered म्हणजे कसला? The one who gets angry quickly. पटकन रागाला जाणार. So you can say if you know someone who is getting angry quickly, it's without in discussion, if you're discussing something, and in discussion also people start fighting, they get angry. So in such case, you can call, my friend is a short-tempered. So you can call him short-tempered. He is getting angry quickly. To be taken aback, to be surprised. I was taken aback when I heard the news of attack of Russia on Ukraine. It is a kind of shock, surprise. Then to beat about a bush. That means that to talk irrelevant. So you can say people who do not have complete information, they beat about a bush. It means that they talk irrelevant. They do not talk to the point. Then to bail the cat, it means to face a risk. Okay, and with this you might have heard one story also, to bail the cat. So you know that there are so many mice and there was one cat. Okay, so what happened? Cat used to catch every day one mouse, and this way the days were passing. So it was a situation of fear among the mice that how to prevent, what to do of this cat. So what happened that all mice gathered together and they decided that what happens usually that a cat catches a mouse and we do not realize when and where, from where the cat comes. So it will be a better idea if we tie a bell around the neck of cat so that we will be noticed, we will get alerted if the cat is coming, that bell will ring and we will be alerted and we can save ourselves. So that was the decision they took. So all agreed with this point, but next question arises, who will tie that bell around the neck of cat? So this way that phrase came into existence and it's used. The meaning of it is that who will face the risk. Okay. Can anybody tell me example of this, to bail the cat? In the sense means to face the risk. Let me check if people are here in the class or झोपलेचं काही वगैरे check करू आपण randomly. So I will ask first of all Prakash. तिकटे roll number 57 Prakash. आवाज येतो का प्रकाश? Quickly, you have to reply quickly. Then Aniket Shinde, is it audible? Sanket Pawar, आवाज येतो Sanket?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sanket is there. All right. Then let me ask here, Sakshi Pawar, 45.
Yes, sir.
Then let's go to next. Rushikesh Patil, 39. Aishwarya Kumar, roll number 35.
Yes, sir.
Then let's go to Rachna, roll number 28, Rachna.
Yes, sir.
Then let me ask Amol Jadhav, 20.
Yes, sir.
Then let me ask Dhanashri, roll number 9.
Yes, sir.
And roll number 2, Sanika. Is it audible, Sanika? So we need to check like this, you know, this is afternoon time and we just had, maybe you can have, yes, example. We got an example from Akshita. Someone has to bail the cat and tell she broke the TV. Yes, it means that coming out of the truth for this reason. Yes, that's all right, Akshita. Okay, pay attention once again. So though I'm very fast, but you know that still we are in unit number 1, and up to 25th of this month, you are going to finish your semester. Term end can be then. So therefore, so we're not spending that much time. Next is to blow one's own trumpet. What does it mean? स्वतःची स्तुती करणे, okay? To blow one's own trumpet, to praise oneself. So suppose that I'm here in attack, I'm very clever, I'm very talented, I'm very honest, and I can do anything. And I'm just talking about myself only. So what I'm doing, I'm praising myself. That means that I blow my own trumpet. Okay, he was not afraid to bail the cat. Okay, that's the right version. To build castles in the air, to form imaginary schemes. So something like that, you just think, which is only in your imagination, which is only in your thoughts only. Practically, you're not doing anything. In such case, you build castles in the air. You can say my friend does not do anything, but he just builds castles in the air. To burn the candle at both ends, to exhaust one's energies. Okay, so usually it is for useless things, or maybe not getting results also. So his decision to go for maybe camp was like to burn the candle at both ends. Means that by going to the camp, he did not achieve anything. And let's go to the next slide here, that is talking about burning the midnight oil. And this is again very common, and you should understand burning midnight oil to work very hard till late night. Yesterday we referred it. During exam, students burn the midnight oil. That was the example you can relate with you. To bury the hatchet means that to cease fighting, to stop fighting, or to close maybe fighting. So example you can say, all the world is waiting to just know when the Russia and Ukraine will bury the hatchet. So the bury the hatchet means they will stop fighting. To burn one's fingers, to suffer financial loss or hurt by taking part in another's quarrel. So you can say Mr. Sharma burned his finger by starting new business which he did not have any knowledge. Behind one's back, in one's absence, एखाद्याच्या गैरहजेरीमध्ये त्याच्याविषयी बोलली. You know that when we are friends, so two friends are there and someone who is not there, these two friends, they start talking about third one who is not there. But in that case, what they are doing, they're talking once behind one's back. It means that maybe usually this talk is negative. He's not like, he is like this, he is maybe that and like that only. So talking behind one's back. Example, you can say employees always talk behind the boss, behind the boss back. Means when there is no boss, so that time people talk about their boss. So boss is like this, boss is like that, and maybe negative talking about boss. Behind the scene, पडद्यामागची गोष्ट, कथा, reality, the grim reality behind the attractive appearance. On the front line, it seems everything is very fine, but behind that, you do not have any idea what is happening. Okay, in such case, you can use this behind the scene. So example, you can say, we are the successful democracy, but very few people know the what is going on behind the scene. It means that what is going on behind the scene. It means though we are democracy, but democracy is not followed. Reality is that sometimes unfair means are used to win elections, and maybe political parties and the politics and all those things that is not up to the mark. Okay, so in such case, you people can say like this. To be in a fix, to be in difficulty, not able to decide this one or that one. We have studied like this. I got 2 offer letters of renowned companies, so I'm in a fix to accept which one. To break the ice, to start the conversation. To speak first, to start the conversation. So you know that generally, if strange people come together and they have to just discuss one, maybe they have to start conversation and nobody speaks. Okay, so in that case, it is called to break the ice. So someone needs to take lead, initiative, and start the conversation. Usually in group discussion, all such situations, you may come across with this kind of situation that nobody is speaking. So that means that someone needs to break the ice. So breaking the ice, it is not any actual ice that you have to break, but it means to start the conversation. To breathe once last, to die. To bring to book, to call to account, to punish. So the principal or teacher decided to bring to book the naughty students or mischievous students. Undisciplined students. Chicken-hearted, cowardly, someone who is not having courage. Bitra, gahabarat. Crocodile tears, yesterday we have discussed. Magarmachh ke aansu. Call at, to visit somebody's office or house. Suppose that you are on the way and you're going maybe at some other place. Okay, so here you wanted to go, but while going to your destination, maybe here is someone's home or here maybe someone's office. So while going that way, you are going to call at his home or his office. Call for, to demand. So during the war situation, there was call for blood, there was call for help, call for medical help. So something like this. Cry out against, to complain loudly. People decided to cry out against corruption. Okay, a cock and bull story. Cock and bull story, something that is not believable, something that is not true, that is absurd, that is maybe you can't believe. A cup of tea, something very favorite. Child's play, something very extremely easy. To call a spade, here meaning is not given, meaningless. To speak in clear words. Okay, स्पष्ट शब्दामध्ये सांगणं. कधी गोष्ट there are some people and their habit, they're taking twists and turns and not talking to the point. असं स्पष्ट कळेल असं सांगत नाही. तर in such case you can call ask them to call a spade, okay? To cool one's heels, to wait for someone patiently. What is this, Akshita? हाँ, तोंडावर बोलणे. ओके. तोंडावर बोलणे, दॅट मीन्स स्पीकिंग डायरेक्टली. ओके, म्हणजे काही न ठेवता. पण कॉल स्पेड म्हणजे स्पष्ट शब्दात बोलणे, म्हणजे समजेल अशा भाषेत. जसं कुठलेही असे कोडवर्ड वापरून किंवा असे सवय असते ना, असे काहीतरी अनॉलॉजीज वापरून किंवा असे दुसरे शब्द वापरून ते न वापरून आता बोलणे. So to cry over spilt milk, to indulge in useless regrets. भूतकाळातल्या गोष्टींबद्दल विचार करणे. To cut a sorry figure, to make a poor impression or to fail to make impression. Close-fisted man, a miser. What is meaning of miser? Kanjush. Okay. The person who is not spending money at all for necessary reasons also, for necessary things also. In that case, you can call him, he is a close-fisted man. A crying evil, an evil requiring immediate correction. So you can think that dowry is a crying evil these days. So what is this dowry system? काय होतो अर्थ त्याचा? कोणालाच माहिती नाही? Okay, Sakshi, I did not understand. Okay, Akshita knows it. Dahej, Hunda, yes.
Hunda pratha.
That's right. So you can relate it like this. Close shave or narrow escape, थोडक्यात वाचणे, थोडक्यात बचावणे. Similar phrases people have done. To cast pearls before swine. To give something precious to somebody who is unable to understand its value. Marathi meaning पाहिजे, मराठी पाहिजे याच्यासाठी मला. To cast pearls before swine. काय मराठी म्हण याच्यासाठी? Yes, गाढवाला गुळाची चव काय? Okay, so that refers to cast pearls before swine, to give something precious to somebody who is unable to understand its value. Very commonly used to come off with flying colors. It means to be victorious, to win. To cut one's coat according to one's clothes. To limit the expenses to the money available. त्याच्यासाठी सुद्धा मराठी आहे. To cut. कुठली मराठी फ्रेज आहे?
अंथरून पाहून पाय पसरावे.
Yes, that's right. अंथरून पाहून पाय पसरावे. To cut Gordian knot, to solve a difficult problem. Okay. Bird's eye view, general view of something. एखाद्या गोष्टीची सर्वसाधारणपणे समज असणे. Birds of a feather, persons of the same type or nature. Okay, so you can say example. So when all students of engineering are birds of a feather, in that they are of similar nature, or they have similar type of profession also. Black sheep. What is black sheep? A person who betrays his associates. विश्वासघात करणारी व्यक्ती. So for such people, you can call black sheep. Blue blood. So someone who is born in aristocratic families, जे राजघराणे वगैरे किंवा उमराव वगैरे असतात त्यांच्या घराण्यामध्ये जन्मलेल्या व्यक्तीला काय म्हटलं जातं? ही इज ऑफ ब्ल्यू ब्लड, मीन्स aristocratic origin. Bread and butter, the means of life, food, clothing, etc. Or usually the job that you're doing can be your bread and butter. So from which you can earn money and you can lead your life. So you can say his bread and butter is his job. Dark horse, an unexpected winner. So it can be usually in a race or maybe in exam also. You can say from our class all were expecting someone is coming, okay, but their all guess went wrong. Instead of that, someone else came. So in that case, dark horse, you can call him dark horse. Dead later, something no longer in force, no longer in use. For example, you can call we can take example of the sati pratha, okay. So that is no longer in force, no longer in use. So that is dead later here. Dog in the manger, that is a selfish person who is just thinking of his own. Danced to the tune of someone, acted according to the wish of someone. You know, here you can take example. Usually common example that the daughter-in-law has to dance to the tune of her mother-in-law. Okay. Dropping, again to visit casually. Double dealing, the person who is not believable. So one who is trickery, deceit, plotting against friends, that is called double dealing. Okay. So that is cliche. Cliche is also similar to phrases, okay, whatever people study. पण ह्याच्यामध्ये क्लिश म्हणजे काय होतं की they are known to everyone आणि their meaning or their effectiveness is reduced. त्याचा अर्थ आहे तो अर्थ बऱ्याच वेळा त्याचा वापर झाल्यामुळे त्याची तीव्रता कमी झालेली असते and they are overused. So an expression, often a figure of speech whose effectiveness has been worn out through overuse and excessive familiarity. So example, what goes up must come down. So they are similar. Don't go deep here. We are not going to cover this anywhere. So some examples of this: don't put all your eggs in one basket. तुम्हाला माहिती आहे याचं meaning? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. म्हणजे काय? Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Don't risk everything.
You don't take risk at one place only. Example we can take of when you want to invest some of your money. Let's say you people have 100 rupees, okay, and you are going to invest it into stocks. So you're going to buy stocks of one company, and that can be let's say whatever may be price, but you're investing it in one company only and you're expecting good return. So in that case, what can be the possibility? काय होऊ शकतो? तुम्ही 100 रुपीज एका कंपनीमध्ये इन्व्हेस्ट केले तर त्या केसमध्ये दोन पॉसिबिलिटी होऊ शकते. एक तर जर प्रॉफिट झाला तर यू विल बी इन प्रॉफिट. लेट्स से 100 रुपीज इन्व्हेस्ट केले, पॉसिबिलिटी त्याचे तुम्हाला 200 मिळू शकतं. On the other hand, it can be also possibility that you may get loss and it can be zero also. And at third possibility, it may be as it is 100 rupees. But this saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. म्हणजे याचा अर्थ काय होणार आहे? तुमच्याकडे जे 100 रुपीज आहे ते एकाच स्टॉक मध्ये टाकण्यापेक्षा you can invest 10 rupees in 10 stocks. जर 10 rupees 10 stocks मध्ये जर तुम्ही इन्व्हेस्ट केले, the possibility is that at least 5 to 6 can be into profit. त्यामुळे जे काही जो नुकसान होणार आहे जिथं हे झिरो होणार आहे झिरो कॅन बी अवॉइडेड. So for that it is called don't put all your eggs in one basket. So don't just gather तुमचं मनी असेल काही असेल किंवा नॉलेज असेल प्रत्येक गोष्टीसाठी सगळं एकाच ठिकाणी किंवा सोर्स ऑफ इन्कम असेल फक्त एकाच सोर्स वरती अवलंबून न राहता यू कॅन डायव्हर्सिफाय इट. Dead as a doornail without any movement, head over heels in love, प्रेमात अखंड बुडालेला, that you can call it here head over heels. Home is where the heart is. So it is, home is all about your emotions, feelings, relationships, love, etc. In the blink of an eye, डोळ्याचं पातळ लवतं न लवतं तूच, that we have Marathi meaning here. Money doesn't grow on trees. Very common and popular example. झाडाला पैसे झाडाला नाही लागत. Okay. Put it in a nutshell. थोडक्यात सांग. In short. Okay. So the way I just taught you today, that is in a nutshell. Okay. In short. And the last part that we will talk here today, I know that it may be faster and some of you may be having questions also, but still I wanted to close it here. So redundancy. Redundancy is nothing but, repetition. Repetition of what? Repetition of the phrases which mean the same. एकच गोष्ट सांगण्यासाठी दोन शब्दांचा वापर करणे. त्याला काय म्हटलेलं आहे इथं? Redundancy असं म्हटलेलं आहे. For example, she is a liar and doesn't tell the truth. या केस मध्ये meaning of liar that is similar to doesn't tell the truth. जो खोटा व्यक्ती जो खरं बोलत नाही तो. So here liar and doesn't tell the truth, they are redundancy. Okay. Simply remember repetition, unnecessary repetition. But sometimes it is done deliberately. आणि मग इथं काही examples आपण बघू and then we close it. So 12 midnight and midnight. So what is repeated? Here 12 is not required because all we people know when it is midnight. So midnight is going to be at what time? It is at 12. So there is no need to say 12 midnight. But if you say just midnight, it is going to refer what time? 12 in the night. Similar 12 noon. So when we say noon, its meaning itself is it's 12 in the afternoon. Okay. A total of 14 words. Only 14 words is sufficient. No need to use total of 14 words. Biography. The meaning of biography is itself that this is the description of or course of life of someone. So of her life, because biography is all about life only. Our circle around. So circling is nothing but we are just like this, circle around. Then close, proximity, meaning the same. Close means proximity, proximity means close. More formal is proximity. Each and every, you can refer each, because each means every means each. End results are usually at the end. Exactly the same, exactly and same. Similar. Free gift. Gift is always free, okay? So there is no need to say free gift. In spite of the fact that, rather than you can say although. In the event that, instead of saying it is similar to if. New innovations. Innovations are always new, so not required to say new. Then one and the same. So it is again the same. You can say like this one. Period of 4 days. 4 days itself a period, so no need to say period of. Repeat again. Repeating means you're talking it again. So there is no need to say repeat again. Only repeat is sufficient. Similar is revert back. Revert, it means that you are referring the same document, mail, message, etc. So revert means only sufficient revert. No need to use back. Shorter in length means shorter. Shorter refers to length. Longer refers to length. So no need to say shorter in length or longer in length. And last one is summarize briefly. Summary means short, brief means short. So summarize briefly, both meaning same. So you can say summarize only. So here, some way or anyhow, I finished unit number 1. So what is the name of unit number 1? Pan out unit number 1.
English grammar.
So English grammar. So some way, somehow I finished it. And you know that for next, you just finished your midterm test, and soon there will be ISC 2. And for ISC, you are going to have the syllabus. I will just tell you. I don't know whether I told it or not. So unit number 3 and 4. Unit number 3 will be based on dialogue writing, conversations, and unit number 4 will be of reading comprehension. So in reading comprehension, you are going to get one unseen passage, and you have to read it and answer the questions. So we are not going to learn it, or I'm not going to teach it, because you people have been learning it since your 10th and 12th. So a little bit discussion we people will do about unit number 3, how to write a dialogue, which are the points, and how to describe that things. So maybe unit number 2, we will again, in short, we will try to talk about prefix, suffix, some more examples of prefix, suffix, synonyms, and antonyms. Okay, any questions here so far? काय प्रश्न आहेत कोणाला काही अडचणी नाही. So let's take attendance then. So roll number 1, 2, roll number 3. Roll number 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 31, 37, 38, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Okay, so absent numbers are 3, 15, 18, 31, 40, 50, 55. And there are some students who are joining within last 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes also for attendance. Okay, let it be with this. Should we stop here? Should I end this meeting for all?
Yes, sir.